We're getting close to the end of the RenderMan challenge, so it's now time to export your renders out to disk. One easy way to do this is just export any images from the catalogue by going to File, Export Catalogue, and then choosing from the options here what you want to export. If I choose Selected Images, then it'll bring up a window where you can navigate to a directory and give the export a name and a file extension. You have to use this format when exporting. So you have the file name, dot, and then number of hashes for the amount of padding you want for the image number, dot, the file format. So here I'm going to use .exr. If you have multiple AOVs, these will be exported as separate images. You can also run a disk render by right-clicking the render node and choosing disk render. But we haven't set our directory yet for where the disk renders should go. So if we have a look at the render node parameters, you'll see that the file paths are all in a temp folder for now. So to change this path, we need to go back to our render output define nodes and set the location type to file. And then we can add our file path here. I'm going to copy and paste this path for the rest of my outputs, and I'll just change the file name to reflect the channel. We're also going to need to set up another render output define for our primary pass. This is the default settings, so we don't need to change any of this. We just need to add our file path. And now if we look at the render node parameters again, we can see that the output paths have been updated to reflect those new directories that we've set. If I set off a disk render now, each of these will render to a separate image file. If we want them to render as one merged EXR, we can add one more render output define to create a merge pass to combine everything into one file. So let's name this output merge, then under type we can select merge, and then we need to choose all the channels that we want to be merged in the merge outputs list. We just need to add our file path as well. Again, if we jump back to the render node and have a look, we should see the merge output and its file path here as well. So now we can right click and set off this disk render. While it's running, you'll see a grey entry in the catalogue. This means our disk render is running, so we can click on it and view the progress in the render log tab. Once it's complete, we can see the finished render appear in the catalogue, and we should now have all those files exported to our specified folder. These images are now ready to be taken into comp for you to make your final adjustments.